A Karen tried to take away my son and accused me of kidnapping him because he is white-skinned, but she realized that she screwed up her life because I'm putting her in jail. I'm a mixed ethnicity individual. I've been confused for many races over my 29 years on this planet, but I'm Caucasian and African American. Usually, it can be figured out, but the difference with me is that my father is Caucasian, so my hair is straight. I'm originally from Texas and am usually confused for being Mexican. Also, I am married to a Caucasian woman who had a child before we got married. His father is not in his life as much, and I took the responsibility because I love this woman and this little boy as if he were my own. He's 4 now, and I've been in his life since he was 1. Anyways, onto the story. My wife needed a few things from the grocery store, and she needed to run a few more errands usually. She just goes and knocks things out herself because I'm sleeping. I work nights, but this particular day, I happen to be awake, and I offered to go for her. She works hard and does a lot, so I felt it was necessary to do something for her so she could just relax for the day. I took my son with me so she could rest up and just take it easy, and it gave me time to spend with my son for some bonding. We completed all of the errands which went smoothly, and then headed to the grocery store to finish up our day. My son, being a typical 4-year-old, was full of energy running ahead of me, laughing and speaking to everyone he came across, which I generally don't mind as long as he doesn't hit anyone and stays within eye view. As I'm making my way down and out looking for canned corn, my son jogs to the end of it when an older lady is entering at the other end. My son, being the sweet social butterfly he is, approached me and exclaimed excitedly, "Hi, me 4 and me, Ryan." Bless his little heart. The lady looked down and said, "Well, hello there. You shouldn't be running around unattended. Let's go find your parents." I didn't think of her statement because I assumed she hadn't seen me. "Ryan, come back here, bud, please." He runs back toward me excitedly, and starts turning in circles because he's 4. Lol. I'm still searching the shelves as the lady walks past me and stops behind me. Again, I think nothing of it because it's a grocery store, and you must share the aisles. When this lady blocks my path, I turn my basket around and walk toward the front cash registers. I say excuse me and try to walk around her, and she moves her cart in front of me again. I thought she was just getting confused and said excuse me once again and tried again to go around, and she just blocked my path. I was trying to get out of the way with my son when an agitated lady blocked us, accusing me of not being his father. "Oh, I don't think so. You're not going anywhere with that child," she exclaimed. When I confirmed he was my son, she argued, "That's not your child. He's white, and you're Mexican. You probably didn't even know his name until he told me." Frustrated, I replied, "Sure, whatever lady, can you just move? My wife is at home and anxiously awaiting us." She persisted, "Stop your lies. You're not taking him anywhere, you pervert." My son clung to my leg, frightened by the confrontation. I tried to calm the situation, saying, "As you can see, he's standing close to me because he trusts me, and you're scaring him, so how about you buzz off?" The lady refused to back down, insisting, "No, he's scared because of you. He just doesn't know how to express it yet." She addressed my son directly, "Come on now, sweetie, I'm here to rescue you. Come with me." Thankfully, my son could communicate that he wasn't going anywhere with her, but she was having none of it. She grabbed my son and began to run. It caught me off guard because I could not fathom what was happening. My son started screaming because he was so scared, and this lady said, "Don't worry, sweetie, he won't hurt you, I promise." Suddenly, I snapped back into reality and began chasing this crazy winch. While running through the store, I yelled for people to stop her and say that she was kidnapping my son, and thankfully, a worker stopped her before she exited. "Lady, why are you stopping me? This Mexican here is trying to kidnap my grandson." My son is bawling his eyes out and extending his arms, calling for me. This lady was relentless and would not let go until my son, even after he slapped her face multiple times. I laughed a little, not going to lie. At this point, a manager shows up and asks what's going on. The lady spoke before me. "Lady, this," pointing at me, "pervert is trying to kidnap my grandson, and I was just trying to escape." "Me? That's my son, you freaking psycho. Now, let him go." The manager didn't know what to believe. I don't blame him. He was caught in a weird situation. So I pulled out my phone and showed him pictures of my son and me, dated a year or so back, as proof. This lady still would not give up and accused me of faking them. Like, how would you do that exactly? I'll never know, but whatever. Sadly, there were 2 other ladies there taking the psycho's side and said I was attempting to kidnap my son because there was no way we were family because of our different skin tones. One even called the police, which I was happy about because I knew they could review the security cameras. Even still, I called my wife to see if she could come to the store to clear this situation quickly. When I told her what was happening, she zoomed into the store. She got there about the same time as the police. The crazy ladies were giving their statement to the cops when my wife walked in. As soon as she walked in, my son said, "Mama, help." My wife is a true mama bear, and she immediately flew into a rage when she saw this lady holding my son. "Let him go now," she demanded. The lady, claiming to protect our son from a pervert, was supported by 2 other women who accused me of trying to kidnap him. The officer, confused, asked the lady if she knew my son, but my wife clarified she had no idea who the lady was and showed a picture of my mother-in-law. The lady admitted she lied about being his grandmother but insisted she was protecting him from me. My wife said, "Who are you talking about again?" She pointed at me. "Oh, you mean my husband?" I presented my ID to the officer and the manager, and my wife did the same. We also showed pictures of us on our phones to prove we were a family. The cop nodded in approval, returned our phones, and jotted down a few notes. The 3 ladies, for some reason, still kept trying to say this was all fake, and my wife was in on the kidnapping and said we needed to be arrested. My wife lost it and let off some colorful words I won't repeat here, but she got her point across. Then, the nail in the coffin came for the psycho trio. The office turned to the manager and asked, "Sir, do the cameras work here?" The 3 ladies' faces went pale like ghostly pale. The officer reviewed the outside camera as I pulled into the parking lot and saw me take my son out of my car. Then, I went up and down the aisles, and, most importantly, The woman snatched up my son and began to run. Upon his return, he asked, "Would you like to press charges?" The lady said, "Yes, I would." The officer told her, "Why would I be asking you that question? Shut your mouth and sit down." He turns to me and repeats the question. Me, absolutely. Lady 1 was charged with attempted kidnapping, false imprisonment, providing a false police report, and child endangerment. The other 2 were also charged with giving a false police report. To make matters worse for the lady, my son bruises easily, and she left some terrible spots on him from where she was grasping him. But he's fine. This added a charge of child abuse to her rap sheet.